Hi everyone, this is Matt here talking about a new section that I've amended for the module, and it's called Children's Literature Resources. It's annoying you can't see the whole thing there, but it used to be that this is where I collated really good blogs and websites that I thought would just be good for you as a future English teacher in primary school. And also a place to get lots of ideas for the book that you can use in your assignment for part B, you know, the planning. And historically, no students seem to remember it was there. And I think a lot of it was just pretty messy. You know, I threw stuff in there and it needed some organising. So I've organised it quite nicely now using some headings. And I'm just going to spend some time talking you through it. I advise you to watch this video in YouTube in my channel, because what I'll do is I'll add timestamps to the three sections. So how do I expand my subject knowledge in children's literature and English? Help, there's too many books to read and where do I start? And then also children's literature awards, which could be a subheading for this really. And so just like in this video that I've done, there's timestamps here, I'll put the timestamps in when I've finished. So without further ado, let's go through this. So there's three sections, and you can see that the links are open to each of these sections. And I just want to talk about how to navigate these and why they're helpful pretty briefly, okay? Because I don't want to take up too much of your time. So Anne's website is just very high quality reviews from Anne. You know, she is a librarian. She's in lots of library committees, and you can see that it's just a great place to go. Now, my favourite post that she's been doing over the summer, and that I think will continue, is something called Reading Matters, and it's a weekly upload. Every Saturday it's a blog where she just collates the very best of what's out there, whether it's videos by authors or whether it's some training for you, some CPD, or whether it's things to do with things you can do with children, like books for Atomic Summer Reading Bingo. I mean, that sounds great. Let's go and have a look at that. Okay, and then there's CPD here that someone's put on, and then later on sometimes she'll give you really good reviews that she's loved. So great place to go. And she's like the nicest person in the world as well. Follow her on Twitter. I think she's called the Library Lady. But all these kind of things are great ideas that you can either do yourself or you can take part in. All worth your while. Oh, look at this. That's magic. Anyway, that's not why she's there. She's there because she delivers some very high quality material. Books for Keeps is like the oldest journal for children's literature in the UK that's still going in as a magazine. And it's just incredible. The fact that it's free is astonishing, really. I don't know quite how they're making their money, but I'm very glad that they are. And there's every week there's new reviews, very worth looking at. But also what I like for the assignment is if you go to search, and let's type in someone like, I don't know, Darren Chetty, right? Here we go. So Darren Chetty, there's loads of articles about Darren, but also you can see that there's some interviews as well. So if you do someone like Alan Allberg, I think there's one Alan Allberg. I don't think there is actually, I think there's two. See, naughty me. Okay, so when we go to this, sometimes in these you get things called orthographs, which are these incredible interviews where we get an overview of the author and everything they've done and some questions we get to ask them. And not only does this lead to further reading, but also this kind of material can be really good in assignment part B, where you're talking about the book that you're looking at. You might find there's an interview with your author or illustrator, but also in your own reviews on Goodreads as well. So really worth looking at. You can also go to articles and then just click orthograph and then apply. Yeah, it's not been working, but generally it does work. It might bring them all up for you. So great place to go for that. And then the other one that I've done is Books for Keeps is Beyond the Secret Garden, which is written by Darren Chetty and Professor Karen Sands O'Connor. Now she came recently to Oxford Brookes to talk about diversity and representation in children's literature. But here are all the articles they've written on this so far, and I promise you that in there will be some very good things that you can take for assignment part A about diversity and representation. But you might want to read it to find books that you might not have heard of, or because you're a teacher and you care about reflecting realities and own voices, just come here and have a look at some of the stuff here. So super blog in that respect. Then we've got Jenny Holder's Diversity in Children's Literature blog, which is brilliant. Jenny has spent a long time collating lists of LGBTQI readings, I think, but definitely things like BAME kind of book lists, and lots of videos as well further down, and podcasts for you to listen to. So that's a great thing to go to as well, and dip into. I wouldn't do it justice in this blog. Then the Hearts blog for English. Oh my goodness, this stuff for you as a teacher is insanely good. So you get a lot of teachers saying, I don't know how to teach comprehension or grammar. I'm stuck on teaching spelling. So let's say we're stuck on teaching the phonics, okay? You can see that you can click here, and then there's lots of ideas about the teaching of phonics here from Hearts. And as far as I remember, you don't have to pay for any of it. It's all just free blogs. That might lead to some stuff you got to pay for, but there you go. Let's go to comprehension 2. And let's go to, here we go. Let's have a look at this one. This looks like, so what's great about this is theory based. So there's lots of theory in here, and there might just be some nice little ideas there for you to access. So great for you as a teacher as well. Definitely want to bookmark. So that was the Hearts one down here, and then we've got a Chuka, which I'll open, and a book bag. Authorfry for some reason isn't working at the moment, but when it is, it's lots of interviews with authors about how they write, why they write, what they write, and that's fantastic as well. So click on that one and this one. So Achuka, basically the guy that runs this website, I think he's called Michael, but he was an assistant head in a primary school for years and years and years. He's been running this for, 20 years in 2017. You can find him on Twitter here, but he's just become this really good blogger about picture books, and he updates it every week. He puts up some books that he's been reviewing. So I'm just trying to pull up the thing that I actually want you to see, but I can't find it. Let's go here, see if it's here. Recommending. Yeah, if we go to recommending, can you see we've got books of the day. So he reviews every day, and all of these will be really high quality texts that he wants to talk about. He generally ignores anything that is given that isn't very good. So great place to go and get ideas here. And you could look at this and go, oh, that astronaut's cat looks quite good. So you go to your Goodreads account and you put it up onto the want to read, and then you're sorted. You've got something like that in the bag for when you go to Blackwell's or something like that, or you can ask the library to get it in. And it's the same with the book bag too. They get really good reviews here, very honest reviews, and definitely worth looking at here. You could say, I just want to look at children's books, and then you could say, I want to look at dyslexia-friendly children's books, and then you get an A to Z of loads of books that cover that. So let's look at Old Dog New Tricks. So we get a really strong review by Bally Ray, and then it tells you an overview of who it's for, and it generally does say somewhere what age group they think it's for as well. So definitely worth looking at that. They tend to go off ability, which is super. So yeah, there you go. Very worth exploring. So we've got them. I think we've done all of them except Mary Roach's blog. Mary Roach is the writer of one of the books that you are asked to look at, and it's developing critical thinking through picture books. I haven't even put my blog in. What am I thinking? My blog's here. I'll put it in at another time. It's not a problem. But here are links to loads of good books or loads of good websites like Minnie Gray's website or Jill Bennett's website. It's a huge little resource. Huge little doesn't make any sense. A huge resource of great readings and great links to websites that will help you. So there's tons there. if you're needing support on writing reviews for Goodreads because you want to write more than a sentence, then these bookmarks that you probably got given in year 1, actually, they're still super. Actually, I'm thinking about, paragraph 1, 2, 3, paragraph 1, 2, 3, 4, if that's what you want to do. So I would put that in. I don't like non-fiction, by the way. I don't like the term. I like non-fiction, don't like the term. I think information books is much better, because calling something not fiction seems odd. But there we go. Okay, and that's something we used to hand out donkeys years ago. We might still do that. So the next session says, there are too many books to read, where do I start? And I wrote this one because, as I said earlier, my history of working with students is them saying, I don't know where to start, Matt, it's overwhelming. So I reckon here's some good places to start, but please remember what I said. Just go to our library, or just go to Blackwell's and have a look there. So let's open, this is a brilliant site, by the way, the Book Trust one, as is this one. Let's open it, Love My Books, and in the list there. Okay, so this is from the Book Trust, which you will have done some reading for me when we start. So here we can choose the age of book that we want to look at, because we might be interested. Let's start with this one. So let's say we're looking for the famous kind of transition book, yeah, a year 2 to year 3, which no one seems to know what to advise anyone to read. And you might say, I want to look at let's do Family and Friends. You can see they're already trying very hard on diversity, which is great. So you click Family and Friends, boom, I get loads here already. So Planet Omar's here, super. And we've got some pitch books here, some poetry, and we've got 172 pages of material to just look through. I would absolutely be sharing this with parents in my first year if I had to have anything to do with that. But yeah, let's click on, I don't know, click on one and I want to click on this Nikki Daly book. So you can see who it's published by, an overview of what it's like, overview of Nikki Daly, which we could use for the assignment, and a reading age as well, an interest age. Nice, that's a nice touch, that, actually. Not book list is. Oh, okay, where to go? Oh, that's such a good book. Hilarious graphic novel. So there we go, amazing website. Bookshare time, so Find Books is very much the same concept, but just, I don't want to say more edu-based, but it kind of is. So let's say I want to find books that I think deal with prepositions. Here they come. There we go. All these books that encourage the use of, it's an amazing website actually, encourage the use of prepositions. But let's say I don't want to focus on grammar, so I'm going to uncheck that. And let's say I want to look at something to do with, I don't want any of them actually. Journeys. I like this. Oh, you could add this for last year, couldn't you? I'm not sure about those choices actually. Yeah, they get better. So this is great, and these are all picture books as well by the looks of it. That's a really lovely book, by the way. And you can see it does rhymes, it's got questions, that's interesting. So lots of places for you to look. Themes would be great, wouldn't they? Or age, so it looks like it goes up to 8 years, year 4. So let's look at the 8-year book, see what they recommend. I'm still doing Room on a Broom and stuff like that. So it looks like it's staying mostly around picture books, which is good for you guys for my assignment. Okay, that's pretty good. And it's a small collection at the moment, but it will grow. And then we've got Love My Books, which is incredibly diverse and run by librarians. It's really impressive place to go. So if we go to books and activity papers for 7 to 11, so upper key stage 2, you can see that they've again curated loads of books, and you can click on any of these and it'll give you an overview. This is a good, I call it an illustrated book really. They call it a picture book, but it's not really. But these things like trailers that they have, these are great things to put in part B for your plan, because kids like seeing this and I like seeing this, and it makes it more accessible. So we have an overview, and then they have some ideas. You've got to be careful in your assignment if you're using these. Make sure that you cite where you got these ideas from. But again, a really rich place to go. And then I shared, I'll open up Scott's page. Then I shared my list as well. So on Goodreads, when you go to my profile, Goodreads is really slow, by the way, but when you go to my profile, you can see that somewhere, it's all gone, you've got lists liked by me, and in here you will be able to see lists that I've made. Okay, that's where it will show you. So when I go to lists, I've got to come here to find it for some odd reason. If I scroll down, lists that my friends have voted on, popular lists. Oh gosh darn it. Oh, sorry, here we go. Lists I've created. So you can come here into Goodreads. I've just made this one today. So click on the little Rebels Book Awards. And then all you've got to do is click want to read, want to read, want to read, want to read, and it adds the list for you. So that's a job done. Jake Cade is a really good one of 100 best books. And then John Yates gave me a lovely list. John Yates Harold gave me a lovely list of LGBTQI books that he liked. That you can click on all of these so that you can remember to read them. So on and so on and so on. Poetry Awards, Postmodern Pitch Books, the UKLA long lists as well. They're brilliant. I haven't added this year's actually, which is fantastic. So I'll add them. And then finally in this section, Scott is, I think he's like Mr. E Teacher on Twitter. He's a really nice guy. He was a librarian before he became a teacher. And if you go to his recommended read, he's got a top 100 for every year group. So let's go to year 5. These won't be just picture books. There will be some, but there'll be novels as well. So if we click on Bridge to Terabithia, one of my favourites, he takes you just straight to Amazon. Okay. So there's no reviews here, but he does review. And he's trying hard to diversify his reading range as well. Sometimes I read these and go, oh, I think these are actually Key Stage 3. Or I might go, oh, I'd have used that in year 4. But, everyone's choice is up to them, basically. And that's how it works. So that is where I would go to expand my knowledge in children's literature, but also where to find a range of books. Okay. And then finally, another place to find a range of books is Children's Book Awards. And there's a few notable ones. I actually haven't talked about the UKLA one here, which isn't brilliant, but because I've done a list, I think I kind of cover myself in that respect. So, oh rats, put that there. The Klaus Flug Award, and then finally I added this really nice poster that you can download. By the way, it just opens here on the rights of the reader, which is a nice thing to have up in your classroom. By the way, which talks about. It's kind of the foundation for a reading for pleasure pedagogy and ethos in your classroom. Ethos more than pedagogy, to be honest. Okay, so let's look at the Klaus Flug Award. So when you come here, you just come to past prizes and you can go to shortlists, and then you have these blooming gorgeous pitch books that you could plan around if you wanted to. My advice would be to make sure that you try not to call on teacher notes too much. So just be aware that there's so much material out there, but there's some brilliant books here for you to look at, picture books, for you just to read as a teacher. The Carnegie is the probably most prestigious book award in the UK, and Jake Hope, who helped me create this list, by the way, helps kind of chair it. So I'm almost about to read Lark, by the way. I've read his other 3 books, brilliant, and this is incredible storytelling. I've read most of these, I think, and they're great selections. So you can come here and you can go to the archive and you can look at all the awards that had won in the past. And the Carnegie are like novels, so they go up to young adult. So sometimes it's difficult to navigate which ones are for primary, which ones for young adult. But the Kate Greenaway medals are picture books or short novels for younger readers. So you could come and see the medal winners here. But I thought if you look around, there's definitely like all the long lists and all the short lists somewhere too. But reading through these would not be a bad thing at all, because they're going to be incredible books that are mostly aimed at primary. And then also, I think it's here. No, No. I want to find that because it's brilliant. Here we go. Oh, it was there, look. Okay, so this is like a sister site to the CILIP, the Kate Greenway, the Carnegie and Kate Greenway Award. These are all the videos of everyone that's won an award or been nominated, shortlisted. Oh, this site is just... I kind of come here for a couple of, I don't know, hours over a couple of weeks just to keep coming back and learning about these incredible people just writing about their works. Let's see Sophie's book. I haven't seen this one. Okay, so this was up Sophie Slush. Let's go and have a look. So here's Sophie talking about it's the Russian House of Chicken Eggs. So here's Sophie talking about the House of Chicken Eggs. I've actually read that book. It's a bit embarrassing that I didn't recognise it. But you can see that you have these incredible interviews with authors, and that's where you get all the good stuff for your assignment as well, where these authors are talking about their work process. Even if you chose to do one of Sophie's book or one of Marcus's books, and it's not the book he's talking about here, he'll still be telling you something about the process. But great things to just watch. So there's those two. And then we've got the Brantford Bose Award. That's a website that tries really hard to find new voices that don't clog up the bookshops. You know, like when you walk into Waterstones, you're hit with a face of David Walliams or Roald Dahl, and the Brantford Bose Award is all about trying to find novelists who people might not have heard of, who are really, really good, and they're working very hard on diversifying as well. So you can see we've got long lists and we've got previous awards and things like that too. So let's go to the shortlist for today, because I've just kind of been looking at this. So here's the shortlist. Okay, they got through to the shortlist, right? That's interesting. The long list is cool, including those two. So my job this year is actually to start reading some of these. So Little Bad Man sounds really good fun. I've read The Middler, it's brilliant. I've read Space Marine, oh my god, did I cry at that? That's brilliant. But you've got all these books. Some of them are YA books, so just check by looking. But they just, again, they look like really, really good books to be reading. So that's another place to go and check. Okay, and then we've got the Little Rebels Book Award. So the Little Rebels Book Award tries to give a voice to diverse writers and reflecting realities too. And so here's the kind of shortlist here and the winner. Here's our Planet Omar book. I got it when it was the Muslims. I think actually I'd seen it here, read it and went, we're doing that in the third year. It's amazing. And then after that, Zanib got a big book deal, probably because of winning this award. And it got changed to Planet Omar, and she's written it as a longer series of books. But these are all great books to read. You know, Girl of Ink and Stars here, which is super. So it champions diverse voices, and their shortlist, which came out today, is here as well. So, you know, these are good places to start, guys. Even if you don't use them as your assignment, they're just good books to read. I've read that. It's a really good book, by the way. And someone did a plan around that last year, and it was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. It's up on the Padlet. So there's two more places that are going to be great to go to, and then the Federation for Children's Books, which is like the oldest children's book collection as well. These do awards as well. Here we go. They have regular lists here, which are lovely, and there is an award and resources to help you here. So if you go to book lists here, there's just loads here as well for you to help you out. Almost too much really, isn't there? And then we've got the Poetry Awards from Clipper, which is part of the CLPE. Actually, the Poetry Awards used to be Nancy and Aidan Chambers. You'll know Aidan Chambers from Reading Tell Me, but they used to run this award, and then the CLPE took it under their wing. But loads of lovely previous winners book, collection here. Enable editing. Something's gone wrong with the display here. Don't know what's got to happen there. Should do it in a PDF really. But the great collection of poetry books if that's your thing. I hope it is. And that really is it. That's my overview of this section. So much material for you, almost like too much to help you with children's literature resources. But some of you will not use this again. Some of you, this will be something you're really interested in, so I'd like to hear your views on what links you've been using and why you like them. But yeah, there's the overview of expanding your knowledge in children's literature and finding really good books to use for your assignment and as a primary school teacher and beyond. I hope it was helpful.